Hi everyone, Joe here and welcome back to another video. You're not gonna like this one, which seems to be a common theme throughout all of my vlogs, is things get worse. And unfortunately I found out about 10 days ago that the trial wasn't working, like, at all. I went in for a biopsy as part of the trial, and the idea behind it is you have the biopsy just to see if the drug's being absorbed into the cancer cells. That's the idea. Things went wrong. They didn't tell me to stop taking my blood thinners, so I ended up not having the biopsy in the end. So I went back the week after for the biopsy. I'd had a scan in the morning before I was meant to have the original biopsy. That CT scan showed considerable growth, enough to the point where we know 100% that it's not working, and it wasn't working. My liver lesion in particular had grown 2.5 centimeters, which is a 50% increase, which over the course of 8 weeks is not good. It's bad. It's really bad. Also, my rib lesion had grown by a centimeter. Basically, everything was worse, with the exception, which is a weird exception, of the nodule that's in here, which had shrunk by 2 millimeters. So does that mean that maybe the trial was working on that? Maybe. Who knows? Cancer grows and shrinks and changes shape a lot of the time, so that's the thing that happens. Well, I guess we go on to what happens next, don't we? And what we have to think about. Obviously the timing of this isn't ideal, and do I mean to be publishing a video like this on Christmas Eve? No, I don't. But I don't want to be sitting there thinking about it on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then I don't want to be thinking about it. I'm having to make the video anymore. I want it made, I want it done, I want it out there. I want it off my chest, as well as all the cancer. The what happens next is already kind of in motion. I spoke with my oncologist day before yesterday, and we are going to be doing chemo. We're doing a chemotherapy called Paxatel, which I've not had before. Previous chemotherapy regimen I did was called ECX, which was brutal. This is supposed to not be as bad. We're also going to do radiotherapy on a couple of spots. My scalp lesion, which is here hidden under my hair, and also my rib lesion, because the rib one is causing me problems like pain. I've broken my rib again through coughing, because I wake up in the morning and I'm very crackly at the moment, like super crackly, which isn't great, definitely not good, but it clears once I'm up and about, which is fine, so I can kind of mostly ignore it, but it does put me off sleeping. But at the moment I breathe in and out too deep and my rib goes ka-kunk, 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 which isn't great. I can tell you that for a fact. It's not something that you want to be dealing with at all. So they're going to be zapping that, the idea being is it will stop putting pressure on the pushing out, because that's what it's doing. It's pushing out and it's pushing into my soft tissue, and it's sharp. It's the way that I've explained it before about the way that bone heals, and typically it smooths itself over, but when it's cancerous it doesn't. It doesn't smooth itself anymore. It remains jagged. I think about building a wall, but instead of putting all the bricks in nice and flat on top of each other, you just pile them in as you go, and that's kind of what it's like. So that's sharp, basically sticking out against my inside of my chest. So that's pretty uncomfortable. Not to mention coughing, sneezing. I haven't sneezed properly for weeks, because every time I go to sneeze, I have to grab and I prepare myself for the pain, and it stops me from sneezing. So that's a strange thing. Now, I will say thank you very much to everyone for all the comments saying how good my hair looked in the last video. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my hair. So that's brilliant. And also the comments saying how good I was looking. I really appreciate them. Unfortunately, little did we realise at that point, I looked... That's what dying of cancer looks like. It doesn't look how you think, does it? Which is strange. Like, you don't expect people to be this plump and full when they are on the verge of dying of cancer. Never judge a book by its cover. Personified. So what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen? And what's happening? So at the moment, I am in pain in my rib, and I've got a bit of a cough, and that is it. That is the only things that I'm suffering with. I'm tired, but I'm stressed, and I'm staying up until like 2:30 in the morning. I can't sleep. I can't even bring myself to go to bed because I know that I'm going to lie there and just struggle to sleep because I'm going to keep replaying things over and over and over. Now, chemotherapy is my only option. I've checked. Thoroughly checked. Well, I suppose my other option is doing nothing, but that really isn't an option, is it? Because that just means that things are going to get worse. I've essentially done nothing for weeks already, and that's bad. So we're well behind where we should be. Well behind. The chemotherapy will have a bunch of side effects, make me feel sick, tired. That's mainly it. Sick and tired. So that's what that'll do. Lose my hair, sick and tired. The radiotherapy on top of that will obviously be pretty rough, but it's only one fraction, so one zapping. It would be over in one session. So they'll do one here, one there, done, and that's it. I'm going to try and keep my hair for as long as possible, but the important thing is that I can't do a cool cap because I have a scalp lesion, so I want the chemotherapy to go into it. And when you have a cool cap, the idea is it reduces blood flow to your scalp and to your hair follicle so you don't lose your hair. So, you remember I spoke about losing your identity? Well, I was on the verge of gaining mine back, or some of it back, and it'll go. Now, last time I had chemotherapy, my hair did fall out, but it grew back very quickly. So I might get lucky. You never know. I might get lucky. I might thin a little bit, but I'm a pretty high thread count human being. So we'll give it a go. And I'm not going to shave off too soon. But my wife has picked up some wool yarn in order to to make me some hats, which is quite nice. We've got a little bit of time. I've got an appointment with the oncologist on the 4th of January, which is basically as soon as I can get in order to sign the consent forms and basically prepare, get bloods done, pre-treatment bloods, and hopefully I'll be starting the following week. It's going to be weekly infusions, so it's going to be 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, rather than once every 3 weeks, hitting you with loads. So it should be it should be more tolerable, much more tolerable than what I went through last time. That is the idea. I hope it will be, and hopefully it'll slow it down. I'm not expecting the chemotherapy to cure it. Now, I've been here before. I'm not expecting the chemotherapy to cure it. I am hoping that it will simply slow it down enough that something else will come up, because I still remain a prime candidate for another trial. There just currently isn't any trials available that will be suitable for me. So yeah, there's that. That to be considered. If I can make it through, that'd be nice. It would be lovely. I don't know how that's going to work out, but in the meantime, I've been dealing with the news by eating lots of food, which is always good. I like to do that. And at the same time, I've been spending lots of time with my family who are up from New Zealand, who I haven't seen for years. So the last time I saw my brother was when I was going through chemotherapy last time, and we thought it was the end, and I was on the way out to the door very quickly. So we've been here before, and it lasted for years. Things are a little bit different now. Things are a little bit more aggressive, growing a little bit faster. So I don't have a clue how much time I've got. They don't tell you. What we do know is that all my organs are still functioning, but how long that stays the case, we don't know. Bearing in mind, this is going to be a quick update for where it is throughout my body. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. So, scalp lesion, here, neck, both lungs, my spine in 3 places still, my back, as in like embedded in the muscle, left rib, 5th rib, and also the soft tissue around it. We've got my liver. We also have numerous lymph nodes within the chest cavity. Then we have my pancreas, that's new, hooray. Then we have my bowel lining, and that's not like bowel as in my actual guts. It's the sac that everything sits in, I guess. Then we've got my pelvis, my butt cheek on the right hand side. And have I forgotten anywhere? No, I haven't. So basically, I'm in a bit of a shit situation, aren't I? Cats, do you mind? Guys, I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. Poe and Alfred have been sleeping on the bed, and then they've just decided to wake up, and it's time to have a fight. So, do you mind? Behave yourselves. You know I don't edit anything out. This is the way we do it. Thank you. So, where are we? Only 12 minutes in. I feel like I've been talking for a million years. This is not what I wanted to share. This is not the Christmas message I wanted to do. The last video that I put out, I published it knowing this news, and I'd recorded another video just talking about the update on the trial and how I had no side effects from it, and I was hopeful, but the cough wasn't great, and I was supposed to have had the biopsy, but I didn't. And by the time I got round to getting it all ready, I had this news, and obviously it knocked me sideways. And I've been a little bit angry, but it's more I've been short-tempered, and I'm very aware of what's causing it, so it makes it that you can kind of rein it back in a little bit. You know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, you know what you're actually angry about. I mean, you can stop yourself, or check yourself before you wreck yourself. Literally you can stop yourself before you say something you really shouldn't, which is good and very sensible to do, because we do stuff like that, don't we, when we're upset and we're angry, and we have to be very, very careful. And that's important. We temper our reactions to things, which I have done my damnedest best for the past 7 years-ish. But there are certain things that obviously really do get on my nerves. In case you're wondering about my background, by the way, this is also another picture from Chichen Itza, from my trip to Mexico. I particularly like the columns. I like the geometry involved with them, and I was desperate to take pictures of them, but we were rushed past them one time, and I was like, no, the lighting's perfect. And then we came back, and I took another picture, and I don't know if I'm happy with it, but it's what it is. So things to look forward to. It's Christmas Day tomorrow. I'm going to eat loads. That's going to be great. I still intend to do a Q&A before the year is out, a live Q&A with my wife. As you guys know, we've done that before, and it's been quite good. It's been quite informative, hopefully, for everybody, and it's been quite a nice turnout. So hopefully we will do the same thing again. and get everyone involved, asking questions, live questions, and all of that stuff. As usual, I'm going to ask you guys to not leave some comments. I hate having to do this. In particular, please don't suggest anything to do with starving cancer. That's particular pissing me off at the moment. And if before this video there's an advert for another fucking chiropractor selling a diet to cure cancer, a chiropractor is not a dietitian or an oncologist. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know really what they're talking about the spine. It's just raw manipulation. It's not right. Anyway, see an osteopath. See a physiotherapist. See a dietitian. See an oncologist. So yeah, please don't leave stuff like that. And also, just a small reminder, I'm not religious, but yes, I do celebrate Christmas because it is Yule, the winter celebration based around the winter solstice from pagan traditions. So there. How about that? But yeah, no, I'm not into the whole praying thing. We don't do that. And yeah, I know I'm doing as well. I know there'll be people who are worrying, like, am I continuing on and not just trying to enjoy the time I've got? Here's the thing. It's progressing so fucking fast. If I don't do something, I'm dead. Like, a lot earlier than I would like to be, and I won't enjoy the time I've got left because it'll be awful. Worse. Trust me when I say this, having been through chemotherapy before and a bunch of other treatments, the symptoms of cancer, when they kick in and they are bad and they cause you problems, are worse. Much worse. So I'd rather put that off. The pain is something that you wouldn't believe, to the point where you can't stop it because your nerves are being pinched and chafed and rubbed, and there is nothing you can do to stop. All you can have is some form of treatment, and that's what I'm choosing to do in order to extend my life for as long as possible, so I can just enjoy the time that I have and have more of that time. That's what's important to me, is having more of that time. So I'm certain I know what I'm doing. I'm sure. So I'm going to leave it basically I'm going to leave it there. I've got a lot to think about, a lot to deal with. Everything's still in order from last time round. I was told that I was dying, so I don't have to worry about that at least. But I'm going to go off and I'm going to enjoy my Christmas Eve and have something to eat, because why not? I'm going to watch Elf because I enjoy the movie, and screw Asda for using the bits of it in their Christmas advert, and hopefully you'll have a very nice Christmas. So, Merry Christmas everyone, and I will give you an update when I've got one. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.